Ahoy guys and welcome back to the channel. Can you guess what I'm going to be showing you in today's video? That's right, it is Helm Watch number 3. It's hard to believe that up until a couple of months ago, I had never even seen a Helm watch. But then Chad, a really good friend of the channel, reached out to me and said, it's my turn to buy the Kuraburi and I've changed my mind. Do you want to take my place? I said, yes, please. And I reviewed those watches. Then someone else reached out to me and said, it's my turn to buy the Miyako and I've changed my mind. Do you want to take my place? And I said, yes, please. And I reviewed the Miyakos. You can see where this is going, can't you? Then Pete reached out to me, another very good friend of the channel, and said, I still want to buy the Komodo. He still wants the white dial version, but he let me take his place. And he said, when you're done with it, I'll buy it off you. I ended up buying all 4 colour variations for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I wanted to see if they would sell me 4 watches because there is supposed to be a real shortage. They only release a handful of these watches every single month, and the waiting list for this Komodo is currently 8,000 people long. And as you can see, they did send me 4 watches, and funnily enough, I've got a couple of Vanuatu's over there, which went missing in the post, and they reached out to me and said, don't worry, we'll just send you a couple of extras. So they've got plenty of watches. Anyway, and the other reason I bought all 4 was because I was just curious to see all colour variations. Why not? It's quite difficult to get hold of these watches, so I might as well get hold of them while I can. I'll be selling a couple of these on my eBay store just to cover my costs. I'm not going to be asking for a premium for them. And one of them I'm going to give away in the future, and the other one Pete's buying. And that's what's going to happen to these 4 watches. And well, first I'm going to head over to the light box and show you these 4 watches. Komodos. Don't know why I did that. Now, the first Komodo I'm going to show you is one that I've already unboxed and resized for my wrist for the purpose of creating an I Like Watches Shorts video. So I've spent a little bit of time with this watch and yeah, I'm quite impressed with it actually. Quite short and stubby. It is a 300-meter diver. And yeah, the first one I'm showing you is, well, I think it's probably going to be the most popular one. Black dial, black bezel insert and orange accents. It's a little bit more subdued than some of the other ones, but beautiful balance on the dial with that date complication at the 6. These are amongst the cheapest Helm watches as well, which is why I think they're so popular. $295 plus $35 for shipping, and I had to pay that 4 times. Can you believe it? They charge you shipping for each watch, so I spent $140 just to have these watches shipped to me. But yeah, fingers crossed it'll be worth it. I'm looking forward to having a look at the other 3 watches. So yeah, NH35 inside, beating at 21,600 beats per hour, hacks and hand winds. Yeah, nice. Let's have a look at the others, I think. Now, I think this is the one that Pete is going to buy off me, although he is free to choose whichever one he wants, quite honestly. I'm happy for him to buy whichever one he wants from me, given he was so kind and let me take his place. Let me just get the sticker off the case back. I'm not going to resize all of the other bracelets. There's no point just for the purpose of this video. I'll be leaving all the other bracelets untouched, but I will show you the bracelet that I have resized in a little bit more detail shortly. But yeah, nicely done case back. Look at that. Quite a deep sort of Helm print and then Helm logo in the center of the case back. Screw down case back. A few details on their specifications. Yeah, screw down crown as well. Again, beautifully engraved. Look, with the Helm H. Yeah, the steel finishing looks pretty good, I've got to say. The brushing is nice. Very toolish watch, so I'm not seeing any polished accents. And this nylon strap feels nice as well. Single pass nylon, which, well, is a good thing. I mean, look how stubby that case is. Yeah, you wouldn't get away with a dual pass nylon strap, would you? And is the hardware signed? Hang on, I can't see. Oh, it is underneath, of course. Yeah, Helm like to put it underneath. Oh, why not, I guess. Yeah, nice. Crown action is nice. Very grippy crown. Yeah, it's quite a wide crown, actually. And those crown guards just smother it, don't they? Yeah, very cool. Right, let's have a fiddle with the bezel on this one. Yeah, it reminds me of the others, actually. I'm not impressed with Helm bezel actions. I'm sorry, Helm, but you could do much better. I mean, I know it's a sort of tool watch, but a lot of people like me like to fiddle with bezels, and that's just not nice at all. Let's check out the alignment. Oh, that looks pretty good. A touch of back play. Let me show you that again. That's the click, and then I've got to just put it back, look. So, yeah, I mean, the alignment's fantastic, and I love the colour of the dial, or the colours on the dial. The blue on the hands doesn't quite match the blue in the applied indices. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I love white dials at the moment as well. So this would probably be the one I would actually choose if I was to keep one of these. Nice, bold 5-minute chapter ring around the outside of the dial and a really cool date window at the 6. I can see the appeal of this one, and not just this colour variation, but this particular watch. I think it's probably going to be my favourite Helm watch once I've seen all of them. Yeah, very cool. Grip on the bezel is fantastic as well. It is fully brushed, and so they've not softened any of this edge by polishing it, and the stiffness of the bezel is fairly average, perhaps a little bit stiffer than average. So yeah, I like the bezel finishing, I like the case finishing. Yeah, it's nice actually, I like it. Huge spring bars as well. I bet there's a lot of weight in this watch when it's on the stainless steel bracelet. I'll put the dimensions and the weight up on the screen when I do my wrist shot in a moment. But yeah, that's a good indicator of quality, to be honest, as is good loom. And I will do a loom degradation test for all 4 watches at the end. And let's not forget, these are ISO 6425 certified divers, and each watch comes with like a little certificate to show how it has been tested. Nice enough strap as well, single pass nylon strap. I chose a few different colours to show you. Decent hardware. Yeah, not much to say about it really, is there? But it's nice. Here is Komodo number 3, and this one is quite an unusual one, isn't it? Black dial, black bezel insert, baby blue loom on the hands and on the dial, and orange accents. So just a slightly more colourful, playful version of this one. I've chosen to get this one on this black nylon strap, and it is quite boring, isn't it? Yeah, I wish I hadn't done that, because that is probably the most boring nylon strap I have ever seen. But like I said, I was just keen to get a variety in. And yeah, the hardware does feel like quality hardware. I have to say I am impressed with Helm's overall build quality. You know, their watches do feel substantial. They may not be the most refined, but they feel substantial, chunky, quality, heavy, you know, watches. I think I'll leave the cover on the case back on this one. No need to peel that one off. Yeah, drilled lugs as well. I hadn't noticed that. Did they all have drilled lugs? Yeah, they did. Look, I missed it. Drilled lugs. Very cool. Right, 4th and final Komodo, and that is a bright watch. That strap is very bright, isn't it? And even the date wheel has been color-coded. That is awesome, actually. I do love the color orange. Yeah, black and orange, fantastic color combination. Obviously my logo is black, white and orange. So yeah, I've always been a fan of this color scheme, and yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? Far more interesting strap, really super bright orange. I can't get over how bright that is. A touch brighter than the dial, although the colors match pretty well. Black hands on this one. What black hands on that one, although the minute hand is orange. And interestingly, I think all of them have completely different hands, don't they? Yeah, I don't think the hands match on any of them, so they've gone to quite a lot of trouble to make each of these watches quite different and unique. Now I've zoomed in so we can have a good look at the crystal, actually, because I think it's a pretty cool piece of crystal. I have tested it. It is sapphire, double domed sapphire crystal with a clear AR coating. Look at the clarity through to the chapter ring on the far side of the watch at such a tight angle. Not too much distortion at all. And I love the way the crystal meets the bezel insert. It's almost perfectly smooth, fairly subtle domage to it. It's just a cool piece of crystal, actually. Yeah, I'm impressed. I like it. And while I'm zoomed in like this, I'm just going to show you a couple of other things I like. I do like those crosshair lines on the dial, and the fact that they've put a bit of loom around the date complication at the 6. I love the colour matching divers 300M on the dial, matches the colour of the loom during the day really, really nicely. Look at the loom on those applied indices. Looks almost glossy, doesn't it? Yeah, very cool. It's not glossy on the hands. But oh, they look almost like sweets. I wouldn't recommend eating them, mind. And yeah, that sort of fairly light grey H logo under the 12. Now, I mentioned earlier that the hands, although they look similar, are actually all different on all four watches, just slightly different colours. And they've done something similar with the loom. You've got two with green loom, two with blue loom, but then you've got the white dial version, which actually looks like it has a very subtly fully loomed dial. The dial and chapter ring definitely reacting to the UV torch, but then on another two watches you have the markers on the chapter rings also seemingly reacting to the UV torch. So the loom is different on all four of these watches. Yeah, that is really cool, isn't it? And well, the loom looks pretty impressive. Let's let it run down for 5 minutes and see what happens. Well, the 5 minutes is up and the loom is still very visible on all four watches. In fact, the strength of the loom looks identical on all four watches. So yeah, despite it being a little bit different between these four watches, in terms of the strength, I don't think there is any difference. Right, and here is my favourite version on my roughly average sized wrist. Yeah, I do think Pete has made a good decision if this is the one he ends up taking back off me. And yeah, sits a little bit high on this single pass strap dimensions and weight in the bottom there. But yeah, I mean, it's not too heavy, and the strap is controlling the weight in the case fairly nicely. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Very comfortable. Right, I've now fitted the stainless steel bracelet that I've already resized for my wrist onto this version, the black dial with the baby blue loom version. And yeah, I mean, it is a chunky, solid, nice feeling bracelet, not too much jangle in it, so you know the tolerances are pretty good. That means good build quality, a little bit of jangle or looseness in the end links, but not much at all. Very happy with that. Solid end links, solid links. They are screw pins, I believe. Yep, screw pins, and yeah, a very nice clasp, but big chunky clasp, but no double pushers. I do tend to prefer this clasp. With double pushers, I just find it easier than sticking my thumb under the end there. Lots of micro adjustment, and a very solid and substantial outer shell with, again, a very solid safety latch with Helm written on it. So yeah, overall just a really solid, chunky, well-built dive watch, isn't it? No diver's extension, unfortunately, but I suspect not too many people go diving with their Komodos, do they? And here is the black and blue dial version on my wrist while it's on the stainless steel bracelet. Yeah, a touch more weight in this than I would prefer for an all-day, everyday watch. I couldn't wear this every single day, but every now and then, even I'm in the mood to wear something thick, heavy, and chunky, and this definitely falls into that category. Despite the diameter and some of the dimensions actually being quite reasonable, it is just a thick, solid, chunky diver. It's a good looking one as well. The Miyako that they produce is a beautiful watch. It's far more refined than this one, but this is, well, sort of beautiful, but in a slightly more simple and rugged way, I think. So yeah, very impressed.